Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutakabbala. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So here we are with our session number 134, and I'm going to start our session with a quick review of whatever we have covered in the past, inshallah. So I am going to ask you about this word from Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 38. The word that is underlined. Who can tell me the surf of this word? The first step should be you should know, you should try to see what could be the root letters, and then you should start looking what could be additional, and then you should be able to figure it out. Okay, so the first step is that you need to see what are the root letters. So sa, qaf, lam, and as Sister Aisha is saying, are the root letters. Now see what is it from mujarrad or mazid? What does it look like? Is it mujarrad or mazid? It is mazid because you are seeing something extra. What is extra that you are seeing here? There is one alif extra. After, where is that alif? Which alif are we talking about? After sa, are we saying this guy, alif, right? Right? Yes? Everyone agrees that this is an alif? This, the first one, can it ever be alif? Can a word begin with alif? Never ever, because in Arabic, words cannot begin with sukoon. They can never begin with sukoon. So the first straight line that you're seeing here is going to be your hamzatul wasl. Now you are seeing there is something here which is mazid. There's an alif that is mazid. Everyone agrees with that? Now start looking at your word. Your word has a shadda. First letter with shadda. What should come to your mind if you are seeing a shadda on the first root letter? And this was covered in the surf sessions, that the 22 sessions that we did on surf, on basic surf. We covered that. Barakallahu feek, Sister Alina. Alhamdulillah, that is the right answer. I should start to think about ibdal. So there could be an ibdal that resulted in first root letter with shadda. What could have undergone ibdal? Ibdal means to change. There must have been a ta that could have changed into sa. Correct answer. So now think about it. So there was a ta you are thinking, and there is an alif. Which family comes to your mind when you see an extra ta and alif? Family number 6, Barakallahu feek. Now, are we calling this word mazid bi harfain or mazid bi thalasat al-ahraf? Is it mazid by 2 or by 3? And your job is to quickly look at the number of letters. Remember, in our last session, this was not when we covered originally. Your family 6, I have always taught you as mazid bi harfain. But when there is an ibdal, you have to add additional hamzatul wasl. So you can, now you, because of ibdal, you are going to put in group 2 or group 3, my dear sisters. Because now you have to have hamzatul wasl too, right? You have to pronounce the word. So now you can put this in group number 3, and you can also include it under the families that have additional hamzatul wasl. Remember, from family number 7 till the last family, till the family number 14, you have hamzatul wasl in all. True or false? Inqalaba yanqalibu, iqtaraba yaqtaribu, istaghfara yastaghfiru, ahmarra ihmarra yahmarru, right? Idhamma yadhamu. all these, all the families have Hamzatul Wasl as an, addition, Mazid letter as well, right? Starting from 7. 5 and 6 can also take Hamzatul Wasl if there is an Ibdal. True or false? It is true, right? When there is an Ibdal, when there is a change of ta, the first ta that is seen before first root letter, if it changes into the if there is a change of ta that is a part of family, sorry, that is a part of family, if it changes into the first root letter, in that case you will need Hamzatul Wasl. Is this clear to each and every one of you? If a ta family changes into the first root letter, changes, becomes like a first root letter. For example, here there was a it taqaltum. It was it tasaqaltum. Originally, the word was tasaqaltum, but the ta got changed into sa, and then I had to bring in Hamzatul Wasl. Okay? Because your word cannot start with Sukun. So here we have a highlighted sentence. If I asked you, what sentence are you seeing here? Jumla ismiya, jumla feiliya? Who can tell me? Jumla feiliya. Now, who can tell me the sequence of Jumla failure? I need to.
Fail, file, and maful.
Yes, Barakallah Feek, yes, but you guys have to keep yourself mute, okay, my dear sisters. Please don't mind me saying that. Everyone has to keep themselves mute, okay, inshallah. So yeah, and when I ask you to unmute yourself, please feel free to do so. Yeah, fail, file, and maf'ul is the sequence right here. Do you see the right sequence? The sequence has changed, right? The sequence has changed. Ibtala is a fail, right? Ibtala is a fail. Who is the file? Rabbu. Rabbu is the file, right? Rab is the file. And Ibrahima is the maful bihi. Everyone, right? Or you all agree? So there's a change in the sequence. Why so? Why is maful bihi before file? Okay. Someone is saying it is allowed, someone is saying it is for emphasis. Very well done. So let me tell you the right answer. The right answer is it is wajib. It is wajib. It is mandatory here to bring maf'ulun bihi, maf'ul bihi before file. And why so? In your course on Surat Ar-Rahman, you have been taught, and before as well, in the beginning sessions of Quranic Arabic grammar as well, when your file has a pronoun that goes back to maf'ul, your maf'ul must be, it is wajib for it to be before your file. Everyone got it? Yes or no? Okay? This is not, you're not going to say, oh, Ibrahim alayhi, you are not going to write paragraphs and paragraphs of tafsir on that. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Ibrahim alayhi salam special, or Ibrahim alayhi salam has been, has been given exclusivity, that it was only Ibrahim alayhi salam who was tested. No, this is according to the rule. The rule is when you have a pronoun here, when your file has an attached pronoun that goes back to maf'ul, your file must come after maf'ul bihi. If your file has an attached pronoun that is referring to maf'ul bihi, it must be after maf'ul bihi, as we can see here. Okay, and there's a very pretty slide that you will see in your notes. Okay, and there are three cases where you see your maf'ul bihi. It is mandatory for maf'ul bihi to be before file. And what was the other two cases? Who can tell me? Who can remind me the other two cases? I can bring some. Attached pronoun with the fail. When a fail has an attached pronoun, and the third was when there is a when your file is has been made exclusive. It's only this file who is going to do this thing. In that case, those are the three cases where it is wajib, it is mandatory for your maf'ul bihi to be before the file. Okay, and remember, these three cases we have covered them. Okay, now it's always, yes, with illa you can remember it as this, as sister Diba has given a very good hint for a beginner. If you see, if there is a, if your file it has to come after illa, then it will be after maf'ul bihi. The order is going to be changed. It is mandatory for the order to be changed. That it is mandatory to change the sequence. Everyone got it? Yes or no? You can take screenshot or whatever works for you for the of the slide as well, so that you know that, and that you have to go over these 3 points. It's very important. Okay, you are not going to write paragraphs and paragraphs of um, tafsir on that. Okay, you are not going to write it, because that's going to be wrong, because here in this case it's going to be mandatory. It is mandatory for file to be before maf'ul, because the file, it's mandatory for the maf'ul bihi to be before file, because the file has a attached pronoun referring back to maf'ulun bihi. Okay, I hope this is clear to each and every one of you, because here, because you bring in a noun first and then you use a pronoun. For example, when you write a passage, you write Fatima is a good girl, she goes to school. You don't write like she is a good girl, Fatima goes to school. Do you ever write like that? It's a basic principle of language, right? You just apply the basic here. There is nothing rocket science. It's just a basic principle of language. You first use a noun, and then you bring in a pronoun referring back to that noun. Okay, so here in this case we are using the same principle of language that is universal. It is nothing new. Okay, it is nothing unique, but you need to know here the sequence has changed, but this is not abnormal. I want you to all to understand, because when there is a change in sequence, we start thinking about takhsis, specificity, exclusivity, or ta'jil. You are bringing something before because you just are so rushed. You want it to be. You just deliver the information. So someone is, because of the emotions, someone feels rushed to change the sequence. Sometimes it's because to initiate or to, to make someone curious, we change the sequence and stuff like that. But here it is a basic principle of language. Okay, there is nothing fancy about it. Okay, so now today's lesson. Are we all ready for today's lesson? Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. So Bismillah Rahman Rahim. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me this clarity of speech, that I deliver this and you all, it comes from heart and it reaches other hearts. Alhamdulillah. So we have seen Amma, that was the part of the dua that we were learning in our previous two sessions. And I asked you to skip that ma, because that ma was, every time I would tell you, okay, we'll cover it later, and the time never came. Okay, so kama naqaita. Okay, this ma led to this session today, okay? This ma, because we need to know about what ma is. And let's start. And Bismillah Rahman Rahim, my dear sisters. When it comes to ma, always remember, ma has two main subcategories or two main types. It can be a harf or it can be an ism. It can be a harf or an ism. When it is a harf, it's not going to have any i'rab because all our haruf in Arabic are going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. They have no i'rab at all. You are not going to call them mubtada, khabar, muta'alliq bil maf'ul bihi or anything. You can never give them any status. They are always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. When it comes to ma, that is a harf, you have learned ma nafiya. Who remembers ma nafiya? Among the different types of ma nafiya, I have taught you three types, right? It can be ma nafiya ghair amila. When you see this term, ma nafiya ghair amila, are you going to see this ma nafiya in jumla ismi or jumla failure? In jumla failure, very well done. Very well done. Ma nafiya ghair amila jumla failure. Whenever, my dear sisters. Remember, put it in your notes. And these notes are given to you as well, going to be given to you as well. But, for your own memorization or understanding, remember. The ma that is negating jumla failure is called ma nafiya ghair amila. That is the full name of ma nafiya. Okay? Ma nafiya ghair amila negates jumla failure. When it comes to ma nafiya al amila, the ma that can change the i'rab of a sentence, another name for this is going to be ma al hijaziya. It works like laysa. And what did we learn about laysa? What about laysa? Ma and Ma Hijaziya works like Laysa. What about Laysa? Laysa is a fail. Laysa is a fail. It When you negate a sentence with Laysa, the khabar is always nasbin status, right? Khabar of Laysa is nasbin status. I should not use always, but the khabar of Laysa is nasbin status. You all know that, or is this something new to you? This ma works similar to Laysa. You will see when ma is negating, this ma is negating a sentence, it will make mubtada raf and it will make khabar nasb. Is this clear to each and every one of you? If you see this ma where you have a jumla ismiya after it, call this ma amila or ma al hijaziya. Okay? Ma amila, ma that works. Amil means one who does an action. Okay? Amil comes from amal. Amal is to do an action. When you are changing the i'rab of a sentence, is that something doing something? Yes or no? You all agree? There is an action. It tarfa'ul mubtada. Tarfa'ul mubtada, it makes mubtada marfu, tansibul khabar. It makes khabar mansoob. So it does something. So that is why it is rightly called amila, and another name for it is ma al hijaziya. And its action is similar to laysa. When you see now haza, instead of calling it mubtada and khabar, now haza mubtada and basharan khabar, you can easily call haza. What can you call haza when ma is negating? Ismu ma and basharan is going to be called khabruma. Okay? Ismuma khabruma. Instead of calling mubtada and khabar, because now it's not like, haza basharun, call haza as ismuma, just like ismu kana. Haza is going to be called ismuma and basharan is going to be called khabruma. Okay? Everyone got it? I hope it is not too much for everyone, but we have to go through this because that is how these students have been taught. So, Sister Aisha, Sister Lina, Sister Zora, are you with me? Alhamdulillah, brings back memories of Ma. And my dear sisters Nazneen, Rabia, Sajida, Sister Tehseen, are you getting it so far? Sister Mariam, so far, is it too understandable? So when you see that there is any change in the i'rab of jumla ismi, like here, your khabar is nasb in status, you start calling ismu khabru. You start using these terms. Ismu khabru. Here, hada, instead of just labeled as mubtada, I'm going to give it a name of ismu ma, and I'm going to call basharan as khabru ma. Okay, I hope you all are getting it. And the khabar, the basic thing that you need to know is that khabar of this ma is nasb in status. This ma has certain rules. It's not going to work in always. It has to have certain prerequisite for there has to be certain prerequisites for this to work. Remember, can khabar come before mubtada? What have we learned? Can your khabar can khabar come before mubtada? In a standard jumla ismiya, can you see? Yes, your khabar can be before mubtada. When it comes to this ma, which is al-hijaziya or amila, which works like laysa, your mubtada and khabar must follow the normal sequence. Khabar can never be before mubtada. There cannot be a separation of mubtada and khabar by harf istasna illa. Your mubtada and khabar cannot be separated by illa. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Because if they are separated by illa, ma is going to lose its action. Okay? This negation can be emphasized further. This particle of negation is very strong. This particle of negation refutes as well. The negation can further be emphasized by the use of ba. Okay? By the use of ba. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Okay? So the khabar of this ma can take ba zaida that also can attach itself to the khabar of laysa. Okay? Ma al-hijaziya can have ba zaida on its khabar, and ba zaida emphasizes the negation even further. So now, Mamallahu bi ghafilin. No, not at all. Allah is unaware of what you all are doing. Make sense or no sense? These two no's and at all is coming because number one, ma is a strong particle of negation. Number two, it refutes as well. Number three, I have an additional ba zaida. Therefore, it is a very strong form of negation. In addition, we can also emphasize negation by attaching min zaida to mubtada, that is nakira. If ma zaida has min zaida attached to its ism, negation can be further emphasized. Is this clear? Again, the mubtada, any mubtada, if you bring in ma and you bring in min, the negation is going to be more emphasized. And we have covered this min zaida in the past as well. Okay, the same thing is going to be more emphasized. Okay, so then comes your third negation ma. The third ma, that is again nafiya, the name for it is muhmila. Okay, ma muhmila. And these two, remember, The first one only is going to be in Jumla Felia, which is Ghair Amila. The last two are going to be negating Jumla Ismiya. This Ma Muhmila was in fact the previous Ma, but here there was something that happened. It lost its action. Muhmila means it is ignored. Why is it ignored? It's not able to perform its action. Why so? Because you will see in case of Ma Muhmila, either khabar came before mubtada or the mubtada and khabar were separated by illa. Is this clear to all of you? Because what did I tell you? The condition for the second ma was the condition for the ma al hijaziyah was mubtada cannot be before khabar and there cannot be separation of mubtada and khabar by illa. But here, when you have khabar before mubtada or mubtada is not in the beginning or there is an illa separated mubtada and khabar, in that case, you are going to call your ma as muhmila. Okay? So type 1 if it is clear to all of you, and I'm going to show you how this principle worked in this case. Ma lahum min nasirin. What is this min? Give me the name for this min. This is Zaida. It attached itself to the mubtada, that is nakira. Is mubtada in the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence? It is at the end of the sentence, and it does not matter. Mubtada must be in the beginning. It cannot be even in the middle as well. It must be in the beginning of the sentence. So since it is not in the beginning of the sentence, ma lost its action and is going to be called muhmila. And this min nasirina is going to be labeled as mubtada or ismuma. Can I now call it ismuma? No, it's going to be just called mubtada. Okay, remember that. Similarly, وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. What are you seeing here? Where is the mubtada? Where did my mubtada go? Can someone lead me to the mubtada? At the end. Min khalaqin is my mubtada that has min zaida majroor. It is majroor. It is jar in status because of min, but in actuality it is raf in status, right? So if I say majroor lafzan marfu muhallan, right? Majroor lafzan marfu muhallan, that is the terminology that I'm going to give to this min khalaqin because this is my mubtada muakhar. And again, this ma cannot be al-hijaziyah because my mubtada is at the end and is going to be named ma muhmila. And the last example, وَمَا مِنْ إِلَهٍ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. So ma, nafiya, muhmila. Why muhmila? Because mubtada, which was min ilahin, has been separated from its khabar by harf istisna illa. Illa separated mubtada and khabar, therefore ma is just going to be muhmila. If there was no separation, what should be the status of lafzul jalala? What would have been the status of lafzul jalala if there was no illa there? Nasbin status, right? Nasb. No, if there was no illa, min ilahin is my ismuma in that case, and Lafzul Jalala would be my khabruma, and khabruma is nasbin status. It works similar to laysa, right? Is this clear? But since illa came, ma lost its action and is going to be labeled as muhmila, and the khabar is going to be raf, just like in any jumla ismiya. Okay? Min ilahin mubtada, lafzul jalala is going to be the khabar. Sister Afsha, Sister Farhan, Sister Maryam, what do you think? Are you with me? Sister Nazneen, Sister Rabia Basri, Sister Diba. What is the confusing part here? And yes, it is new information. because we just think of ma and we label it ma nafia, right? But ma nafia has different names and different actions. Okay, so there is a complete isolated video just on manafia, the types of manafia that you can go over, and you will see how you are going to label any manafia when it enters jumla failure, which can be jumla failure fail madin or fail mudare. You are going to call it ghair amila. When you see manafia that has a khabar which is nasbin status, when the khabar is nasbin status, mubtada is at the right spot, khabar is at the right spot, there is no illa, you are going to call it mal hijaziya when above conditions are not met. When these two rules are not met, when these two conditions are not met, either there's a change in sequence, or there is an illa between mubtada and khabar, you are going to call it muhmila. Okay, and its khabar is not going to be nasb status. Okay, because here ma lost its action. Okay, so this was something about ma and nafia, which is the very first type of ma that you were shown in your slide. So this covers these three ma's. Okay, this the first three ma's are covered. Okay, so let me now give you a break a little bit, and let me, yes, there are so many ma's. Yeah, so let's just now I'm going to go over another ma that is an easy one and that you all know. Okay, yes, so can you ever see ma as a question word? Do we ever see ma as a question word and everyone now answers? That this is not hard, right? This you have all covered, right? Ma istifhamia. So this ma al istifhamia, which group did I choose it from? Was it ism or harf? It was an ism. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, when you see ma lawnuha, what should be its color? These Israelites are asking Musa alayhi salam what should be the color of the cow. So this ma is going to be called ma al-istifhamiyya. Is this clear? The ma with the help of which you ask a question is going to be your question ma. The question ma in Arabic is called al-istifhamiyya. Clear? The next ma that you are going to see is ma al-mawsula. So who knows al-mawsul? Asma'ul mawsula. What is special about them? Every ism mawsul, which is a connecting noun, is followed by a sila, right? Very well done. So the one thing that should come to your mind is when I use this term mawsula, that if there is an ism mawsul, there must be a silatul mawsul. Mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. So mimma, jar wal majroor, ma, from what? Razaqnahum. Razaqnahum. What is razaqnahum? What should I label? It's a sila. What kind of a sila you are seeing? Jumla failure is your sila. What are the different types of silatul mawsul we can have? Who can remind me? Because there are three types. Barakallahu feek. There could be jumla failure, jumla ismiya, and there could be shubu jumla. And shubu jumla includes your zarf or jar wal majroor. Zarf or jar wal majroor. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Ma fis samawati ma mawsula. Fis samawati jar wal majroor, which is shubu jumla, right? Silatul mawsul is shubu jumla in case of fis samawati. Fil ardi, same case, right? So shubu means either jar wal majroor or zarf is the silatul mawsul. Okay? There are three types of silatul mawsul: jumla failure, jumla ismiya, and either your silatul mawsul can have zarf or jar wal majroor. Remember that. Three silatul mawsuls are there. So here, where is your sila ending? Is it ending at yunfiquna or hum? Very well done. From what we provided them. From what we provided them. Yunfiquna. Yunfiquna. What is this word? Yunfiquna. Mudare. Very well done. Jumla fi'liya. What should I label this first jar wal majroor, which is mimma? Mimma. Sister Sabra, what do you think? Mutalik bil fail. Very well done. Mutalik bil fail muqaddam. Which fail it is mutalik to? Razakna or yunfikuna? Yunfikuna, barakallahu feek, dear sisters. And here your ma is mausula and has a silatul mausul. Does silatul mausul have any i'rab? No, it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. We don't worry about the i'rab of silatul mausul, right? Very well done. So this one is easy. This one was easy. No? Or yes? Istifhamia mausula is easy, right? Remember these two. When it comes to istifham, your istifhamia, special features about it. Now that you are comfortable with this much information about ma istifhamia, note few more points and take home these points, remember them, memorize them, and use them. Your ma istifhamia can have all three statuses. It's a ism. Are you having any issues with it having all three statuses? Which means it can be raf, it can be nas, it can be jar. It can be mubtada, it can be khabar, it can be jar wal majroor. Okay? It can be sometimes maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Okay? When I give you a sentence from Surah Al-Baqarah, ma ta'abuduna. Yaqub alayhi salam asked his son, ma ta'abuduna. What is the role of ma there? Which is istifhamia. What will you worship? How will you label this sentence? Who can tell me? Surah Al-Baqarah, my very favorite surah, and I'm sure it's the favorite of everyone. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, good. Let's search here. Okay, here, near on his deathbed, Yaqub alayhi salam is asking, he said to his sons, Ma ta'buduna. Ma is, what will you worship? Ma is istifhamia. Number one, it is istifhamia. It's a question word. Number two, it's going to be maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Everyone got it? Is this clear? It's a jumla fi'liya, ta'buduna. They worship, you all worship. And this ma is answering your what question. It is your what, it is answering your what. So therefore, you are going to call it maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Okay? It's going to be maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Okay? There is no rocket science. You are going to attempt your istifham the same way as you are attempting any sentence in Arabic. Your jumla istifhamiyas are going to be treat because it is not allowed. It's again a case where it is wajib. It is wajib for this maf'ul bihi to be before fail and file. It is wajib. Does that answer your question? Because these are the words that are from Sidaratul Kalam. From Sidaratul Kalam means these are the words that are always, there are certain words that are always going to be at the beginning of your sentence. They can never be put in the middle. Okay? So you will always have question isms in the beginning. Always question is going to be ma or man. All those question words, ayu, are going to be in the beginning. And if somebody asks you, is it because of there is something for emphasis? Is it because of exclusivity? Or is it because to incite interest? You are going to say, no, that is incorrect. This is a case when it is wajib for these words to be in the beginning of the sentence, because these are the words that must be in the beginning. Same is the case with many other words like your shart particles as well. Your shart list of words are also going to be in the beginning. And but for now, I will keep it simple, and it is not to for any other reason, but this is, it is wajib for it to be before the fail and the file. Okay, can we say it because fail has not yes, I was coming to that, and I was just trying to make sure that class understands this much, and then we go on to see the next step. Okay, yes, the fail is with file. Your ma is not just before file, it is before your fail and file. This is that case that you must have studied, that there are certain cases where your maful bihi is muqaddam to your fail and file. Okay, so among the cases where you will see maful bihi not just before file but before fail itself, ma is that special case. The case that we have reviewed in the beginning of our session was a case where your maful bihi was just before your file, right? And I showed you 3 cases where it was wajib for maful bihi to be before file. This is the case when you will see words before not only file but also fail itself. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, man can also, all your question particles, aina, mata, anna, all of them can do that. But mata and anna are not going to be labeled as maful bihi, but man, you can keep in mind that man, since it is labeled as maful bihi, it is, it is the case where you will see maful bihi muqaddam, fail and file, but man and mata, aina, anna, those are labeled differently, so we'll keep them under the category of zarf. So in those, that's a different way how you are going to label those things. Okay, so ma and man, you can keep in mind that they are always going to be mafulun bihi muqaddam, but that is also in case when your fail does not have a attached pronoun. If I have attached pronoun here, what should you label ma as? Should you still call it ma maful bihi muqaddam, or there's another labeling? Yes, in that case, call it mubtada. Okay, so this is going to be, the information is going to be in your slide, and we'll just try to keep it simple for now because there are many sisters who are being introduced to these concepts for the first time. So just see how things work. Just for those of you who have already covered those concepts and just need some extra information, the slides are there. But for those of you who are doing it for the first time, remember, how are you going to call your ma as istifham? For you, the first step is to recognize ma as istifham, as a question word. I don't want you to learn, okay, if you don't understand how to label it as mubtada or when to label it as maful bihi, I want you to at least understand what should your ma, when should you call your ma as istifham. Is this clear to each and every one of you, my dear sisters? Type 1 if it is. So keep that in mind. Okay, first step first, and then you add on other information on top of that. When it comes to mile istifhamia, remember, an interesting fact is, and this most of you must be aware of that, it's going to lose its alif when attacked by any harf jar. Okay, when you see any harf jar before it, like you are going to see fima. Did you see? There is no alif after ma. It's just fima, fima. Hmm? It lost its alif. Again, here, the next example, you are going to see fabima, again, ma, because of b, because this is istifhamia. That way, you are never going to treat it as ma, Mosula, or any other type of ma. So here, when you see a meme with a fatha only attached to a harf jar, and it has lost its alif, what are you going to call this ma? You are going to call it ma al istifhamia. Okay. The last example also, it was min and ma istifhamia, but again alif is omitted, and this is a way to tell you that this ma is not mausula. You are not going to look for silatul mausul after it. This ma is istifhamia. Everyone, you got this point? When you see mal istifhamia attaching itself to any harf jar, you will see it is going to lose its alif. Its alif gets omitted. It gets mahzoof. Okay? So that is an indication that this ma, after this ma, you are not going to see, look for silatul mawsul. It is ma al-istifhamia. Ma al-istifhamia will not have silatul mawsul because it's not ma mawsula. Okay? So I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Okay, now let's pick another ma that is that we have covered, and so I'm going to go over those mas that are commonly seen, and we have covered them as well. Okay, so this one we just have covered that ma mausula, it is an ism, can be jar, and in case of mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun, what was the status of ma? You saw it as jar. In this case, ma indakum young fazu. Here, what is the status of ma? What should be the status of ma here? Who can tell me? Why? It is mubtada. Very good job. It is mubtada. So therefore, it is going to be rafin status. Indakum is going to be zarf. It's a zarf. So that it is going to be silatul mausul. And what is yang fazu? Yan fadu. When you have a mubtada, it's a jumla फेलिया मुदारे फाइल दमीर मुस्ततिर हुआ. So when you have a mubtada, what should you look for? You look for a khabar, and that is the khabar. وَمَا إِنْدَ اللَّهِ, again ma is going to be mubtada, in the Allahi is going to be zarf, mutalik bi sila mahzoof, it is silatul mawsul, and baqin is originally baqiyun, and it is going to be the khabar. Okay, lahu ma fis samawati. What will be the status of ma here? It's going to be raf again because it is a mubtada, right? It's a mubtada muakhar, and it's going to be raf. Lahu jar wal majroor, and ma is mubtada muakhar, and fis samawati is going to be silatul mawsul. When it comes to ja'ahum ma arafu, again it's going to be rough in status, but what is the why is the status rough in this case? It is a doer. Very well done, because it's a doer, and doers are always rough in status. So it is the outside doer for ja'a. Everyone got it? Everyone agrees with Sister Afsha? Or there are some disagreements to that? Okay. Everyone understood this so far? Type 1 if you have. Okay, now see this sentence. فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرَّقُونَ بِهِ. So they used to learn from them too, ما يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه. Here, ما is going to be مفعول به for يتعلمون, and it's going to be nasb status. I hope this is clear to all of you now that ما الموصولة can be rafa, nasab, jar, all any status depending upon its role. Okay? Okay, now the next ma that I want you to do now with me is, let me see. No, not this one. This one we can do later. No, not this one. This one. This one we have covered. What have we learnt about ma ash-shartiya al-jazima? What do you know about this ma? Is it an ism? Yes or no? It makes majzoom. It is an ism. It makes majzoom. How many mudare can it affect? It can affect two. Okay, it can make two af'al at the same time and make them majzoom, right? So here you can see وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ, and whatever you all do of a good, any goodness, يَعْلَمْهُ. Why is يَعْلَم judgment status or majzoom in status or lightest? Why are you seeing this fail in the lightest form? Because of ma, and it made this lightest, and again it made this lightest as well. And you have when ma is shartiya, you will have jumla shartiya and you will have a jawabu shart. Where is your jumla shartiya ending? Khairin. And where is your jawabu shart is ya'lamhullahu, right? Ya'lamhullahu. Now you tell me, what should be the status of ma here? What do you think should be the status of ma here? Should it be nasb? Can we call it nasb in status? Yes, in that case, if you are calling it maf'ulun bihi, it's going to be the maf'ul of your shart. Absolutely, that is going to be the reason that you are going to call it maf'ul of the shart. And min khairin, what is it doing? Min khairin, what is min khairin doing here? What is it talking about? Min khairin is jar wal majroor. Can it be doer? No, it cannot be doer. Very well done. So, what kind of a min is it? And whatever you all do in terms of a goodness, what is min doing here? Did it do any clarity for you? Yes or no? Yeah. Do you remember when we were learning shart? We were seeing there were many cases of min bayaniya with ma shartiya. Remember? And when I'm talking about my time, I'm not talking about, I have never gone over min bayaniya with my students yet, but you will see when ma shartiya is there as a shart, you will see min khairin as there is a min that comes. Bayaniya means something that clarifies. Bayina, what is bayina? What do you think about bayina? Bayina means something that is clear. Bayina, that is something that is very clear. Mubin, clear, right? Something that clarifies, right? Bayina is a clarification or yes. So this min is named bayaniya. Ma taf'alu. Whatever you do. Now whatever could be anything, right? But when we say min khairin, in terms of goodness, here Allah is talking about this, whatever is talking about goodness. Didn't min along with the ism after it clarifying ma? Yes or no? Your mafulun bihi, whatever is being clarified by min along with the ism? Yes. So this min is, you can call this min as min bayaniya because it clarifies your ma shartiya. Because is ma vague or is ma very you know what ma is talking about? In most cases I'm talking about, I'm not talking about, sometimes it may be not vague, it is going to be very it works like allazi, but in those cases, but generally, is ma vague? Yes or no? What do you think? Is ma ambiguous? Do you think it, or it is very clear? Vague or not vague? That's my question. It is vague. It is generally, when you see, and whatever you do, even when we say mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you mimma, not minallazi or anything else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a word that ma could be ma razaqnahum. This ma could be your wealth, ma could be your knowledge, ma could be your mental support to others. Yunfiqun, they spend from what we provided them. So it could be your skill. Some people, they are very good in cooking, and they cook and they serve others by making them delicious food. And if someone is sick around in the community, they send them food. Someone has a lot of money, they give money to other people, they do charity in terms with their money. Some people, they are very good with their teaching skills, and they teach. Isn't it the form of charity? Isn't it the something that you are spending from what you have, from the risk that Allah has given you? But when I say mimma razaqnahum, did Allah say one specific thing, or it is open ended? It is, I cannot say it vague, but just it is not one thing specific. It's not specific. Allah has given you many options with ma al mawsula, and ma al mawsula has that in it. It is not one it mostly not always, but mostly you will see that it gives you a lot of options. Okay. Taf'alu could be, you know something bad. It could be sue, right? Yes or no? It could be sayyiyat, right? And whatever bad things you all do, Allah is aware of that. It could if it was not min khairin there, wama taf'alu ya'lamuhu Allahu. If you remove this min khairin from there, does it not imply that whatever bad you do, Allah knows it as well? But this verses of Surah Al-Baqarah is in context to Hajj. We were talking about Hajj here. So, how many tawafs you did? How many umrahs you performed in Makkah? Allah wanted you to understand that, and how much charity you gave in Makkah, or how much sacrifice you did in Makkah. Allah knows it. So Allah did not want you to understand from this verse that what, you could have been foul mouthing there too, but this is not the intent of the verse. So therefore, min bayaniya was brought in to clarify, in terms of good deeds, whatever you do, Allah knows it. Is it clear so far, or are we still confused about it? So, and this little bit about ma, I think we should know, because this ma, there are many ma's that we are going to cover in our next session now, since we are out of time as always. So, but min bayaniya comes very commonly with ma ashartiya, and it clarifies it. Did it give you clarity when you see min khairin, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about whatever you do in terms of good? Allah knows it. You don't need to brag. You don't need to tell other people, oh, I did this, I did that, I'm so pious. Allah knows it. He knows it. He's Al-Alim. He's Al-Khabir, right? So I will leave you with that thought. But I still have one more minute. I want you all to go over the months, Mars that we have covered in our, in our previous sessions. Okay, so you did this one as well, the easy one that you can do it on your own. This one, Mal Kafa. That one we have covered. Yes, everyone agrees that we have covered. And after Ruba, I'm not expecting you to know, and I'm not going to even cover it. I want you all to know this Ma Zaida Kafa that stops inna anna kanna leita la'alla lakinna from their action. They cannot make any ism mansuba after this ma comes. It stops. Kafa means to stop something, the one that stops. Okay, so it stops. So I will hope that you will come prepared with at least this one, and inshallah we will continue with our types of ma in on Saturday, inshallah. Okay, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, my dear sisters.